If you want to see me swatch the Sultry palette from ABH, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome to HMM Makeup or Makeup. I am going to swatch, finally swatch the Sultry palette from ABH. I got this palette around the holidays and I have been just waiting to use it. It's funny because I've been waiting to use this one and Modern Renaissance and Soft Glam. But today we're talking about this one. So this is the only one in my ABH palettes that I have not swatched yet. As far as the timing of me filming this video. I'm really excited about it. This is the palette, I've said it in previous videos, this is the palette that got away. And I was so excited when ABH brought it back. Now I have not touched this palette at all. You can see the brush is still in the plastic packaging. And it's time to just take it out of the plastic packaging. And I do use the ABH brushes when I use an ABH palette. I think the brushes are perfectly fine. There's no problem with them. And I'm going to, no, I won't take the plastic off. I'll take the plastic off when I first start using the palette. But again, these are the colors, and there are 14 usually, 14 shadows. It's the typical layout for ABH palettes. At least the Anastasia palettes as opposed to Norvina palettes. And there are 2, 4, 6, 7, so it's 7 mattes, 7 shimmers, and I like everything pretty much about this palette. And what I was worried about was that it was too neutral for me, and that I was starting to accumulate a lot of neutral palettes. And I thought, you know, I kept saying, oh, I don't need this palette, I don't need this palette, I don't need this palette, but there's a steampunk edge to this palette, there's a romantic edge to this palette, and so many darn people tell me it's their favorite, just like I love to say subculture is my favorite, that I thought I need to know what the craze is about. And by the time I decided I wanted it, it was all of a sudden, I had disappeared. But then it came back for the holidays, and I do hope that they end up doing this as a holiday release every year, because I have a feeling that a lot of folks will have FOMO again for not having picked up this palette as a limited edition re-release. Okay, I've talked enough. We are going to swatch, and it's 14 shadows, so I'm going to get them all on this arm, this forearm, and I'm going to start. What am I going to do? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think I'm going to do them pretty much in quads. So I'm going to do this quad, then this quad, then this quad, and finish with the last two. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I love the names. I really have appreciated, now that I have it in real life in my hands, it is more beautiful than I could see online, even with the promo pictures and everything. I do think it's more beautiful than expected, and the quads really do look like they work together, so that's part of why I'm deciding to do what I'm doing. So anyway, let's get into it. You don't need to hear me talking for 20 minutes, so I'm going to swatch the first quad, going top left right, and then bottom left right. Oh boy, Pearl. Watch out if you're going to use your fingers in these shadows, because there's a lot of kick up. Do you see that one? Pearl, holy cow. I'm just going to pick up the kick up for the second go for sure. Here are the first 4. I did not, this is Pearl, did not catch the first name. I'll do that on the second go. Oh gosh, that is beautiful. And a nice taupey brown. That is beautiful. Okay, let me do a re-swatch of those 4 with the names this time. Okay, so we have Fresh, Pearl, just picking up the kick up, cinder, and twig. Fresh, pearl, cinder, and twig. Okay, not bad for the first 4. And I'm going to wipe my fingers and let's get going on the next set of 4. Okay, and the next set of 4 we have right here. So Steampunk, Rose Quartz, Teak, and Dystopian. I'm reading it backwards in the viewfinder. Okay, so we have Steampunk is kind of a, oh boy, they're really soft shadows. It's very kind of an antique gold is what I can see. Rose Quartz is self-explanatory. I think they have Rose Quartz in another palette. Teak is one of those gorgeous kind of bronzy colors. And Dystopian is a rich chocolate matte. Okay. So Steampunk. Holy cow! That is beautiful. Rose Quartz. Teak. All 3 of those are beautiful. And that Dystopian matte. Holy cow, that is so up my alley. I love that type of brown, and I'm running out of it in the Smashbox Matte Exposure, the Sumatra. So this is another Sumatra for me. And Steampunk and Rose Quartz barely need a second swatch, but I'm going to do it anyway. And Teak, I'm pretty much picking up the kick up. There's a lot. And I dug into Pearl, forgetting just how soft ABH shadows are. And I have most of the ABH palettes, so you would think that I would know this at this point. So we have Steampunk, holy cow, Rose Quartz, and Teak. It's a good name for that color. And Dystopian, let's see if it builds up nicely. Oh yeah. Now, ABH mattes are powdery, but they build up so beautifully. Okay, so as I'm doing these swatches, and I'm halfway through the palette at this point, just over half, I'm thinking, why did I not get this ages ago? Why not? What was my problem? Why? Anyway, well, I have it now, so. And I'm probably having a few of you, and I'm thinking one person who's going to be looking at the screen going, yeah, why were you waiting on this palette? You know who you are. Okay, I am going into the next set of 4. You know what, I'm going to do Ember and Cyborg. This pair right here, I'm going to do that one on its own and then finish with the 4 mattes. That's what I'm going to do. So, because Cyborg, out of the whole set of shadows, Steampunk and Cyborg are the 2 that I was really excited about. Okay, so Ember, a lot of folks like this one. Ember and Cyborg. Cyborg is just, it looks like molten metal. It's a good name, such a good name for that shadow. Look at that. Oh. Okay, Ember. Oh, it's beautiful. And Cyborg. That taupey silver. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. That on the inner to 2/3 of the lid. Any special occasion, it would be appropriate, but you would still just get that just beautiful, beautiful finish on the eye. Okay. How could an eye look not look good with either one of these? Jeez. That is so pretty. Look at the fingers, right? Molten metal. Okay. Okay, I see you, ABH. I see you. All right, and now for the last four that I said earlier are all mattes. We have Bloom, which I think is a very nice name for a pinky peach color. So Bloom, Birch. It's kind of a mustardy yellow. Slate, which is a nice light gray. And Noir, which we know what that means. So here are the four colors. And here we go. So we have Bloom, Birch. Those are nice soft colors. Slate, I think, yeah, Slate. A little crooked there for Slate. And Noir. Oh boy. I think Noir is in another palette too. Okay, I'm on right on the bone, so I'm not doing a great swatch of the black. But those are looking really good. Okay, now let's go right in again to Bloom and Birch. I'm just picking up the kick up pretty much. Slate and Noir. Okay. Now, of course, Bloom and Rose Quartz are going to make a beautiful look. Birch would go with just about anything. Slate would be fantastic with Noir and Cyborg. And Noir again. Okay. There is all 14 shadows from the Sultry palette. Okay, so I'm just wiping my fingers and thinking about this a little bit. Now there are a few duplicate shadows. I think Rose Quartz is one that I've seen before. Noir I think I've seen before. What else is there? Is there anything else? I think those are it. I think. I could be wrong. But I'm not upset at any of them. I'm just going to open up a couple palettes and take a quick look before I give my commentary. Hang on. No, there was a rose gold in the Norvina palette, but I think that's about it. No, these are all pretty much on their own. I didn't look at everything for a black, but I think there might have been a black in another palette. I just didn't go in every single box that I have. There's really nothing in here that doesn't look like it belongs, which is kind of nice. It's a color story that was really curated, and obviously they did a good job. It's pretty neutral, definitely. The peachy pink does add a layer of color to it, but I would call it a romantic smoky palette basically, and call it a day. But I can see why people were quite partial to it. This one, Steampunk, is just lifting a little bit. Yeah, and I basically remember all the color names, so they're very true to the color they represent. And I do like the balance of half matte, half shimmer. I think that was a smart move. And I do like the pairings as well. There are some obvious pairings in this palette, no question. So for example, Cyborg and Slate for sure. We have well, let's go with the easy one. So Rose Quartz and Bloom are obvious partners, so to speak. I would even say Steampunk and Birch. And then everything else pretty much fits with everything else. Oh, and this is a good pairing as well, right? These two. Fresh and Pearl. those two definitely go well together. I did contaminate it a little bit here, but anyway. Yeah, it's a beautiful array of colors. I mean, I have seen it a lot online. I realize you have as well, but I do still like to swatch it because I just think that we all see things differently when it's out of the packaging, it's out of the palette, and you just get to see the colors on their own. So long and short of it is I'm really looking forward to playing with it. It's a beautiful palette, and I know, no question that my eye look is going to turn out beautifully. So that is one of those palettes that I'm just going to go for when I'm either thinking my makeup skills are crap or I just don't have time and need to know that it's going to end up looking great. So that is going to be one of those go-to palettes that I know will never fail me. I'm positive that Sultry is one of those. Positive. I don't see how I could do any color selection that would go poorly together, and that's, to me, that's a really nice color story that I could recommend to just about anybody. So yeah, that is it as far as my thoughts on the swatches. Please let me know what you think of the swatches. What are your favorites? I'll show you one last time. What are your favorites? Combos or just favorite colors just as is? I would love to hear, and I will say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.